Video backgrounds are... it's a thing of its own, really. It's gonna be so easy. Today's sponsor, Cypress. Just kidding, I don't have sponsors. Ooh, it's like the fastest boat ride ever. Okay, so the purpose is to build a full screen video background, but it's gonna be the simplest possible way I know how. If you know a simpler way, please tell me, because I want to know it in that case. So I did some prep work here. Yeah, I think we can start by going through the HTML document. So nothing special here, a Google font. We reference the style sheet where everything is now commented out. I thought we can add these back one by one to see what they all do. We have a container around the whole thing. We have a video tag which has the properties loop and muted. We have a video cover which we can't see now. We have an overlay which we also can't see at this point. We have video controls with 2 images, and those we can see under the video here. Then we have a section that I call main content. We have a heading, which is this one. We have a subheading, which is this one. And also we have 2 links that I plan to style as buttons. Here they are, and it's these ones. So one is a link to my YouTube channel and the one you're watching right now, and the other one is a link to the GitHub repo of Bideo. So what is Bideo? Well, you might think that the name is a bit weird, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because I think they took background and video and they just they made it into Bideo, which is okay. We import Bideo, the library, and we import our JavaScript for this. So now we know what HTML we're working with. Now let's go through all the files. From the top, we have Bideo, the library, which is not that big, it's just 192 lines. We have our video file. We have an image which is the first frame of the video file, and I will tell you why later. The HTML document, our JavaScript, the pause button, the play button, a readme that says nothing, and our styling. Okay, let's start adding back the styling to see what everything does. First, let's remove the margin and padding from everything. Great. We have some styling for the HTML and the body, which is just set everything to full height and width, no overflow, and a dark background. Great. We text align center and we add our font. And now I can't scroll anymore because the overflow is hidden. Now we take the container, we place everything inside it in the center by using display grid and place items center. We absolutely position it, which would mean that it is not in the natural flow of the document anymore. It is being positioned on top of elements coming before it. And since there are no position relative elements wrapping it, this will be absolutely positioned against the body. Now we move on to the video. And here we also absolute position this one and we center it. These 2 lines means that we center it against the top and towards the left, but we also have to account for the size of the element that we're centering. And that's why we have this line here. By saying minus 50%, that is 50% of the background video element itself. So we will adjust it in the y-axis and in the x-axis. The object fit cover means that it will hide parts of the video for it to take up the whole element. And then we set height and width to 100%. That's good. It looks better. And now something interesting will happen when we add our video cover. As you can see, it's also absolute positioned. And the background of this element is that image that we looked at that was the first frame of the video. So this will be placed on top of the video running now, and you will see what happens. This background size cover is similar to this object fit cover. It will make the image take up the whole element, and it will be able to hide parts of it if the aspect ratio is not the same. The aspect ratio of the element is not the same aspect ratio of the image. It will solve that for us. So now what happened is that we got that image on top of our video. And that's pretty nice because the image will load faster than our video. So until the video is loaded, we can show this image. And when the video starts running, we can just hide this image and it will look as though there was just a still frame of the video and then it started playing. So that's a nice little trick. Now onwards to the video controls. These video controls is actually for mobile devices where the videos won't autoplay. Instead there will be a play button so that you can start the video manually. They're also absolutely positioned. They're placed a little bit further up since the top is just 25 here. And then we have inside video controls. We have the play and the pause. And here you see the pause is set to display none, because by default it's the play button that will be showed first. And then if the width of the browser window is larger than 768 pixels, we don't show the video controls because they're only applicable for mobile devices. So no change for these lines so far. And now we're going to add the overlay. This is also position absolute, and here we have top, right, left and bottom set to 0, which means for this to work this element has to stretch the entire screen here, or the entire browser window here. And we set a black color, but we set the opacity to half. And then it will be like a tint on the whole thing, like this, so that the text that will be placed on top of the video will be a little bit easier to read. And now let's start working on our text elements. So they are actually there, but they are placed behind the video and image. So for them we need to set the Z index, and we'll set that to 2, and that will make them come on top of the other things because the Z index is now greater. Let's style H1, which is Bideo.js in this case. We will capitalize every letter, we will make it bold, make it white, and make it bigger. Like that. And now let's do the subheading. We'll make it a bit grayish, and we will place it a little bit further down by adding some margin on top of it. Now we will style the actual link buttons. So they will have a border and they will have quite a big border radius, so they will look like pills. The font size, and they will be white, the text will be white instead of blue. Give them some letter spacing to make the text less tight. No text decoration, that will remove the underlining. Make them uppercase, give them some padding so that the button will be a bit bigger. We'll set them to inline block since they are next to each other, but we don't want them to take up a full line. We want them to wrap next to each other. And then we set some margin, and this is the margin that will be in between them. There we go. And since they are A tags, we also get this little hand. Okay, that's all the styling. Let's first just take a little bit of a look of how a library works in JavaScript. So we can see that this whole function is wrapped in parentheses, and when you do that, the function will run immediately when it's declared, and this is what will be passed into the function. So you see here, they call it global here. And what is global? Well, global is what is being passed in here, which is window. So what they will do is that they will add Bideo to window, which is a function. So when we initialize this, we can call this function, and that is what we do in main.js. So we can call this Bideo function from anywhere since it exists on the window. We save what we get back from the initialization in this variable Bideo or constant Bideo. And on that constant we have a function called init. And that function takes an object with a lot of config. And that object should have some properties for the library to work. And one of the properties is video_l. And there we use JavaScript to select our video tag, which has the ID background video. We select our container, which is the body in our case. We set the option of resize to true. Want the video to autoplay. We tell the library that our breakpoint for mobile devices is 768. We give the element to the play button and the pause button. We have a source property, which is an array. And in that array we have another object that has the property source again, that points to the file. And we also set what the file type is. And the last thing that we need to declare is the onload function. So what's happening in here is something that we can declare, and what we want to do once the video has loaded is we want to, like, the video being loaded means that the video is also starting to play because we have autoplay. And it also says here that true is default, so actually I would not have to set this option because it is true by default. But since onload means that the video is starting to run, it means that I want to select my video cover, which is this image that we see here, and I want to set the style display to none, which would just hide it. And since the video is right behind it, it will look as though the video just starts playing immediately once it's loaded. And since the video is behind it and just started playing, it will look as though there was just the video we were seeing all along, but the video was standing still for a bit in the beginning. So now let's save this file and see what happens. Now we actually have a nice video background. Looks like the fastest boat in the world. I think you can do cool stuff with this. If you build something cool with this, you should let me know that. That's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and as I said, this is the easiest way I found to do this, but I'll be happy to be wrong about that. If there is an even easier way to do it, I would really want to know. So I hope that you were able to follow along, and that I was able to explain what I was doing. We can also have a little look at what it looks like on a mobile device. When I go down to a smaller device, we see that we get the video won't autoplay, and we will get this button here, and then we can start playing it like this. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, you could be a subscriber. I would be happy. That's all for this time. Thanks for watching.